All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO Gym, and the QBO Gym is a set of numerous exercises that help simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. And every single month we come out with a new set. It is broken down into 4 different categories, and then the exercises live within each of those categories. So today we are going to be focusing on the July warm-up section. At the top here is a video about what's going on in Craig's world this month. He is our fictitious business owner. Then we have an interactive quiz that relates to the video that you just watched. And then all of the exercises within this section are further down. So today we are going to be practicing adding expenses. We are going to be working in the sample company. That's where we always work, but you need to make sure that you use the same session of the sample company that we used in the previous exercise. And that was for the first exercise in the warm-up section. You need to make sure that you complete it. So if you have not done that one yet, go ahead and click on the link above, and that will take you to the video for that exercise. Okay, so our scenario today is that Craig left you a stack of receipts to enter for purchases he made since you last visited. We're going to click on grab a copy of this in the link on the gym page. But first, I want to make a quick note that one of the challenges when receiving receipts is knowing which account they are paid out of. If you can't tell from the receipt itself, you would need to ask Craig. For these exercises, though, we will assume that Craig used his debit card and paid for all of them from his checking account. Also, keep in mind we're not going to be working with sales tax in these particular exercises. So let's go back to the gym for a second, scroll up to the animated video, and here you will see stack of receipts. Go ahead and click on that, and you will see the couple of receipts that we have for this exercises right here. So let's start first with Ellis. It just says Ellis, but even though it doesn't say Ellis Equipment Rental specifically, we're going to assume that they're the same. So you ask Craig. You can always ask Craig, of course, if you need to double check. So the first step in this is that we're going to click on the plus new button and then select expense. Here I am in the sample company. This is where we always work, like I mentioned before. This is actually the last page that I had from the previous exercise. Again, we need to be in the same session of the sample company because all of the exercises kind of build on each other. So to get started with this one, again, on the left nav bar, click on the plus new. Under vendors, select expense. And now we need to fill it out. So the payee is Ellis Equipment Rental. So let's do that. Ellis Equipment Rental. And the payment account, like we said, he used his debit card for all of this. So it is the checking. So go ahead and change this to checking. And then we are going to need to decide if the items need to go on the category grid or the items grid. They will go on the items grid if Craig wants to track how many he has on hand or if he just how many he has purchased over time. And that's inventory versus non-inventory product. If so, these have to be set up in the products and services list. But if neither are true, such as here with the equipment rental, they just need to go in the category grid. Note that for this transaction, the category grid is already pre-filled with the data from the previous Ellis transaction. This is something that is set up in QBO in the accounts and settings section, which to get to that, you would go to the gear icon, click under your company accounts and settings, and then within there, click on advanced, and you can see an area where you can have the pre-fill turned on or off. And that's right here. As you can see, it is already there for us. We are going to delete the description because he has not given you any details about the actual length of the rental. So just let's go ahead and delete the whole thing. And then the amount is $800, as you can see right here. So just go ahead and delete this and then change the amount to $800. Tab over, and you will see that it has been adjusted. Since we have some more expenses to add, we are going to go ahead and click on the Save and New button. So if you click on this arrow right here, just go ahead and Save and New. And that expense for $800 has been saved. Now we're going to focus on the Hicks hardware receipt. Again, we're going to fill it out and start with the payee field being Hicks hardware. So go ahead and start typing in Hicks hardware. The payment account is fine. We need it in checking and it's already there for us. Again, going back to the category versus item details grid, Craig does not track the individual shovels, so we're going to use the category grid, not items grid. As before, QBO has already pre-filled the data for us from the last transaction. So in the category field, it's going to be supplies, the description is shovel, and the amount is $24.38. And here again is that receipt. It's for the shovel for $24.38. So go ahead and we are going to put supplies. Type that in. And then we said the description was for shovels. And then the amount was $24.38. Tab over and you will see that it has been adjusted. So we are going to do the last expense in a different way than we did these previous ones. So for right now, we're just going to save and close. So just click on the little arrow here, and then you will save and close. And that expense has been saved. All right, so our final expense is for Cal's telephone. Craig pays this bill automatically every month and has scheduled bill transactions set up to automatically enter it into his check register. This time, however, he decided to stop by and pay a little early. We can easily use the previously recorded recurring contract or transaction to add this to the register and then mark it as paid. So let's see how to do this. First, we need to go to the recurring transaction already in place. So to do that, you click on the gear icon and then select recurring transactions. I want to keep calling it contracts. So here's the gear icon right here. Under lists, you're going to click on recurring transactions. And you see that there are two here. One of them is for Cal telephone. Keep in mind that this next date, it may show a previous date from when you were watching this video, and that's totally okay. This is just the sample company, but in real life, it would show a future date of when that next payment is going to be made. So right now we are just going to, in the action column, click on the arrow next to edit and then select use. So again, here's the one we want. Click on the arrow and then select use. And now that bill has appeared. We are going to click on the black save button because everything is looking good. And if you want to go back to the expense, you see that here's the telephone bill, $74.36, just to verify, and we have $74.36. So go ahead and click on the black save button, and you can see that it has been saved. But now we want to mark it as paid since the bill has been entered. So just a simple button, click on the Mark as Paid button right here under the balance due amounts. And then we are just going to, under the bank credit account, we're going to make sure that it says checking, and then we're just going to save and close. Because again, he paid with his debit card, which would come from the checking account. So select checking, and then we are just going to hit the green save and close button. And that bill payment has been saved, and that is how you would record some expenses. And if you have any questions about the QBO Gym, just go ahead and click on the link below in the description. Be sure to leave this session of the sample company open as you will need it for the next exercise in the warm-up section, which is all about sending an estimate to a sub customer. And I will see you in that next video.